everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Doom Patrol Season 2, Episode 5. It's called Finger Patrol. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. We're actually on the middle episode now of this shortened season. Damn you, pandemic. But this is where we are. It's kind of a overall kind of a low-key episode in the sense that it's a lot of quiet plots, although there's a kind of a big ending to at least one of them. But it's definitely a lot of individual character stuff like Doom Patrol often does. Pretty much all of them, though, I think, are firing in all cylinders in this episode.
Pretty much every scene is great.
And you know what? I hate to just sort of point at one and go, this is easily the best one, but I mean,
Steel and Stone, right?
yeah, how do you not love Steel and Stone, the 70s cop thing that Cliff sort of daydreams about, and we get this like opening title sequence for a 70s TV show with Cliff in the police like detective outfit with the tie and the trench coat and walking through the police station. Niles is the police chief.
Cyborg guy's hair grown out a little bit just so it's ultra 70s.
Yeah. It's just delightful. They went out a lot of effort to make this look kind of like 70s. I mean, cheap and nasty 70s, but 70s all the same.
That's an authentic style of 70s.
Yeah. So, no, absolutely delightful. Which because Cliff has this idea, because Cyborg's kind of brought him along. I mean, they went along to see Cyborg's dad because Cliff found out about Niles' plan to try and improve his body. One of the key features being the sense of touch. He wants a tactile sense of touch. And he isn't even thinking about it until he sees that Niles wants to do it. But then Niles is like, oh yeah, this might take decades for me to pull this off. So he's like,
do you even have decades?
And it's like, well, Cyborg can touch things and he feels it and his dad's around. I can go and talk to him instead. But unfortunately, Silas is kind of like, no, basically what Niles did to you was manslaughter. I'm not going to be a party to that. I don't care. It's kind of weird.
I'm not being associated with that hack.
It's weird logic at this point when it's already happened and he's just asking for like a sense of touch. Like, I get if he was being asked to help in the initial operation, I could see why he would think all this. But Cliff's alive. He's here. He has feelings.
He's already walking around.
Yeah,
he's right next to you.
He's a human being asking for help, and you're turning him away. But then Cyborg wants to go and see Ronnie. And. He has a daydream earlier on, or does it say a daydream? More of a night terror, as Cliff points out when he's lifting up the couch. But he mentioned, he has this dream where they're having the Subway sandwiches, and she has this big metal cannon on her arm, and then he has one in his arm, and he kind of wakes up. But he feels bad for bailing on her after getting those emails, and he wants to go in, and Cliff gives some advice, which actually maybe one of my favorite lines of the episode here, where he's got Cyborg's got a sub sandwich with him. He's like, I'm going to give her a sandwich. Better late than never. That's good, right? And that was kind of like tying into his dream. And Cliff goes, yeah, smooth. There's a sandpaper strap on, and throws the sandwich out the window.
So I was like, hey man, don't be wasteful.
I think that joke appealed to me especially because one of the oldest things that I say from time to time is like masturbate with a sandpaper glove is like a weird like. Not a threat, but like I hope your next wanks with a sandpaper glove. It's something that I've said from time to time when I want to be ridiculous and funny, and so that being applied here, it's coming out of Cliff's mouth was just perfect.
But there is something that just coming out of Cliff's mouth makes it funnier, like everything.
Well, it has a what the F line when Silas turns him down, but it's a different type of what the F. Again, there's some range to his what the F lines because he's like. What the F?
My favorite what the F is actually not from Cliff. One of the kids who's stealing the car says it, and Cliff goes, "Hey, that's my line." Yes.
Which Cliff's beating them up. They're scared shitless of him, but then his hand malfunctions, which obviously has been something that started to happen recently. And then when he gets control of it again, he kind of slams the door unintentionally, and it cuts off one of the guy's fingers because he wants to be like a vigilante. He sees these two guys jacking this car, and he's like, "I'm going to go be." Steel and Stone, and it doesn't go very well, and he ends up pocketing the finger afterwards.
Yes,
hate the evidence.
Hence the name of the episode.
Yes, Finger Patrol. It's a relatively minor part of the episode overall when you think about it, but
it is. But you gotta have a name. I mean, You also remember things like just the sex ghosts are still floating around the mansion.
That's true. Yeah,
It's the new normal, as Cliff says.
Because he's looking for the videotape of the chief confessing to everything, which he can't find, and he never does. Actually, it's worth mentioning, he never does quite find it. Not sure what he wants it for beyond just basking in it again, because he already knows all the information and Chief's admitted to it all. But I wonder if it's a plot point that's relevant for something else later, like who has the tape? Did someone else take the tape? Maybe important for another reason.
It feels like it could be.
Yeah, I don't think it's important to Cliff necessarily because he already knows everything, but.
Yeah, unless for some reason he needs to prove it, like there's maybe something happens to their memories except him because he's a robot, and it doesn't affect him, and he has to prove to the others that no,
yeah,
Chief's a terrible person.
So I assume it will be important. This beat, just not necessarily the obvious. Like Cliff needs something on it for himself because he already knows it.
Yeah.
But and the side of this, of course, is that Cyborg is up to the apartment and
completely vindicates me.
Why? I guess you wanted the sub?
Well, no, because as I said a couple episodes ago, it was a test when she sent them, and you were like, I don't think it was a test, and then they used the words, so it was a test.
Okay.
Vindication.
Have it.
I will.
Do you feel good? Does it
I
feel
do
nice?
actually. It did feel very good when they said that, and I was like, yes, knew it.
Yeah, I'd forgotten I said that, so it never even occurred to me during this.
To be honest, I'd forgotten until they said it was a test, and then it all came flooding back.
Yeah. So, and because I didn't remember in the scene, it wasn't something that annoyed me in the scene. So,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say is you didn't get the full satisfaction out of this because it wasn't something.
I felt the satisfaction, and it made me feel good. So that's what matters here.
The good thing about them having the sub, and I didn't feel too bad about the sub being thrown out because I had a foot long for breakfast like today. So,
what did you get? What's your order?
Chicken tikka is my main ingredient. I gave up cheese last year, so I don't get cheese on them anymore. But I get lettuce, I get onion, I got a bit of chili flakes in there. Some sweet chili sauce is my
Toasted?
go-to. I actually don't. Not because I don't like it warm, but because when it gets delivered, is the last time I ordered and I got it toasted, is that I find that it makes a lot of the lettuce go kind of soft. It loses its crunch. So what I do is I get it delivered cold and then I heat it up myself when I get it.
Okay. You heat it up in an oven, not a microwave, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, not for long though. I just like it a bit warm. I don't need it to be.
Like 5 minutes.
It doesn't need to be piping hot right now. I just
Yeah. That's a solid order. I can't fault it.
Yeah, that's my usual. I mean, I like so. I've enjoyed a meatball sub in the past. Although I think I've not had that since giving up cheese, and I feel like without cheese, the meatball sub might not be.
That's fair. I used to. Those used to be my two go-tos, but I can't eat either of those anymore, which is really disappointing.
Another regular would be a BMT, not a BLT, a BMT.
Yeah, the BMT has been my current go-to until I find something really satisfying that I can eat. I think the teriyaki chicken might be the one that I need to give it a good shake because in the current delivery it's a reduced menu and they're not offering the teriyaki chicken, so I need to wait until that's available.
Nah. I feel like when I was younger, everyone used to always hype up the steak and cheese, but I feel like the steak meat they use isn't that good. Like it's in theory it sounds great, but the actual meat they use isn't that exciting.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's what it is. I hope you've enjoyed this tangent on the next.
Everyone's Subway order is important.
Yes. I may experiment with some other salad options in there. Because I've tried it with tomato in the past, but I find that tomato kind of gets in the way, and some of it just ends up falling out, and I tend
to just throw everything, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, peppers, jalapenos, gherkins, throw it all on.
Cucumbers and jalapenos are the ones that I'm toying with the idea of, but when I'm in the mood, I might take the plunge.
They both go well with the chicken tikka. I can confirm that.
Okay. Continue with the episode though.
Yes.
So Ronnie, because it feels like it's not going that well, and he says, "Does it count for anything that I came back?" And she immediately kisses him. So it goes pretty well. And honestly, all I was thinking the entire time, the post-coitus scene, is that
Cliff's just waiting in the car.
Yeah, Cliff's been down in the car for like 4 hours at this point. What the?
Well, you say that. Maybe it's actually only like 15 minutes, and it's just showing us this.
well, to be fair, it has gotten dark. I'm not basing this on. I'm not assuming Cyborg's a sex machine. It's been at it for 4 hours.
That was another funny moment though when he said it was about a girl.
Oh yeah.
And Cliff was like, "Oh, thank God, we all have bets on whether or not you had a schlong down."
No. My favorite part of it is that it wasn't the bets. It was that we all had an unspoken like bet. It was the word unspoken was in there, which made it even funnier to me that there's not actually been any conversation. Cliff just assumes that everyone's thinking it.
They probably were. Let's be honest.
Does he still have a schlong? That was the word schlong as well. Unspoken. Does he have a schlong?
Cut him off on schlong. That made me laugh. God, I love this show.
Yeah. And she reveals that she actually had enhanced superpowers at one point, and it was kind of how she ended up with her injuries. They were taken away, and a lot of it's her fault. But so there's some bonding here. There's connecting.
She talks about how the power of the powers kind of got to her.
Yeah. So solid stuff there for both Cliff and Vic. So, pardon me. So, flip it over to Larry. And Rita, because Rita and Larry, obviously ultimately team up together.
As they so often do.
I'll start with Rita because she has like sort of a scene on her own first, which is her going to audition. There's like a community theatre project, and the person running it also works at the florist, and she goes in to talk to her, and she wants to audition, and it's a day late, but she makes her audition
more of a garden centre than a florist. I want to put that.
Oh, sorry, garden centre, yes. And she asks her to audition right there, as Rita says, what, an aisle 3?
Yeah, and she gets up on some little stand.
But she has these these flashbacks in her head to her mother. The scene we had last episode, sort of some quick flashes of that in her head, and it kind of makes her break down a little bit, so it kind of stifles the performance.
And it's clear that this is why she's doing it at all. It's like she feels unsure that she was capable of ever earning an acting job on her own ability, and she's like, was it always just given to me because of other reasons?
Yeah. When she was a kid, it was her mother doing it. When she was an adult, it seems to it was her. We've seen this in our flashbacks before, that she also got herself parts in sort of less than savoury ways.
This is more just her proving her own self-worth as an actress, that she is capable of it. And
obviously she's distraught when she's immediately just kind of like, not laughed at, but just, no, we're done, you can leave. Like, I don't need to see you anymore. And Larry, who's made a sort of day with his son to go and help sort of like clear out his dead son's stuff from his house, brings Rita along, sort of says, now come with me, you're not going to be alone. Goes to this thing, and man, Larry can't catch a break.
Oh man, I know. Larry stuff always manages to be like so much more emotional than anyone else's.
It was almost comical because this has been something I've been feeling with Larry for a long time. Not in a complaint way, just in the sense that he always has something we feel like, oh, maybe he's going to have some sort of happy conclusion to at least one part of his life here, and then there'll be some sort of like undercutting like pain that kind of makes it worse by the end. And this was almost comical, but see when I realised that his son had called in like secret squad military to come and get him, and they're riding up with guns. I'm like, this is like the worst.
I assume this is the bureau, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah. It's like, this is the worst possible ending to this, like for Larry's perspective, is that his son's betrayed him.
He has this wonderful moment where he opens up.
He comes out to his son. Comes out to his son. I thought that was a great scene.
It was a phenomenal scene. It really was. Acting firing all cylinders. Both obviously the voice, Matt Bomer, and whoever it is, I can't remember his name, under the bandages on set.
I even the performance from the actor playing his son as well, I thought was solid as well.
Yeah, he had this great thing where he kind of, there was like a moment where you could see him like reconsidering what he'd done and feeling bad about it, but
it's obviously too
doubling
late.
Down.
Yeah, it's obviously too late by that point. And we have them showing up. Rita's kind of like sort of sees them coming, so comes out and tries to help, and basically they're like, he's like, oh, you're gonna go back where you were, after you died, your mum went on crazy conspiracy theories, and that's what sort of spread it to your to your son. And I actually felt a moment of relief when I was standing by that coffin, and then you came rolling back into our lives, and you're here.
He calls him a curse on this family.
Yeah, and Larry's just met his grandson and his great grandson today for the first time, and Larry's like, okay, I'm not going anywhere, and the negative spirit, comes out and starts mopping them up, but they do get some shots off, and there's a great moment here for Rita actually where she goes to shield the kid, because the great grandson is about 9 or whatever.
And she'd had like a couple of moments with him earlier in the episode.
Yeah, I'll talk about one of them. One of them's quite good. But she kind of like shields him because she's kind of bulletproof and sort of bulks up her back to like absorb the bullet. And I thought that was a really cool. It's like because she's been trying so hard to use her powers. This was like in the heat of the moment where it needed to happen.
It mattered. Yeah. She could. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, admittedly, you could argue that she could also stretch herself wide enough to cover the grandson as well as the great grandson and save him too. But this was
this is more
instinct.
just
yeah.
She's not thinking about it. She's just protect the child.
Yeah. So it's just the hero's moment kind of thing. But the kid's dad, the grandson, and the whole like chain of events. He gets shot, and he's like, we don't know if he dies or not, but he's lying there bleeding out. And this is when Larry's son says, "You're a curse on this family. Just go." Like, and it's like, Tam, like, I really thought him coming out to his son, he was finally going to meet his family.
You just want a happy ending.
I know, and it's like, yeah, sure, Larry made mistakes. He even admits that he should have been honest. Given his wife the honesty, even though she really knew that he was gay. Like, give her the honesty. Like, give her that one thing, and he's admitting this to his son. Maybe by admitting to him, he's in some small ways he's given that finally getting that out there, and it hurts so much to see it flipped around on him like this.
It's just so bad. Like, I was reading an interview with Matt Bomer who does the voice and obviously
flashbacks
the flashback stuff. Yeah. Talking about how he's so happy with the character, because he's a gay man as well, the actor, and talking about how it's the his favorite representation of a gay man that he's ever been able to play, because there is. It's not just about that, right? It's so multifaceted, and there's such despair and tragedy to Larry constantly. It makes him so interesting and fascinating as a character.
Well, yes, it's a really. I mean, even just the setup of of his life before all the superpowered stuff and all that. It's this thing where him pretending to be straight and in a marriage and having kids is not fair to the wife or even the kids. That this entire setup's happened. Obviously, once the kids exist, they exist, and you're in a bit of a pickle at that point. But at the same time, he's not evil for doing it, because the way society treats gay people, treats.
He's not the villain here. They're all victims in this scenario. All of them.
Yeah, they're all victims. Mistakes were made, but it's mistakes that he's kind of forced into by society. And it's a very complex situation where there's no one who. Well, I mean, some people are completely innocent, but there's many people here involved in this chain of events who are not like completely innocent, but they're all victims, and it's just this sad thing where, from the top down, there has to be some kind of reform, and obviously you hope that we've gotten closer to that over the years, and whatever. But like, it's such an intricate, complex set of drama between these characters and what Larry's life is, and the guilt he feels about his wife, and the regrets he has over his own relationship, because even his relationship with the man he loved was kind of strained because he constantly had to lie about it, and that was a strain in their relationship. And then there's a strain.
And they had some of the best moments of last season was that they're reuniting at the end.
And then the strain, of course, on his actual marriage from who he really is and what he actually wants, and so on. And I shouldn't even say wants, what he needs, because it's not a want thing at that point, but. It's such a complex thing, and it's definitely one of I think my favorite gay characters in any TV show.
It's kind of like that, or maybe Holt from 9/9.
Oh yeah, and the comedy side of things, Holt's a very good example.
In terms of the dramatic beats, don't get me wrong, Larry's got and beat hands down, but just in terms of characters and stuff.
No. And obviously, we've seen great gay characters on a bunch of shows over the last, say, I don't know, 20 years, whatever. But I think this one really stands out.
Definitely, yeah. It's such a multifaceted character, and such a tragic character, and you can't help but just, every time this is going, you're like, please let this be the time he catches a break. Just let it work for once. And it just never happens for him.
So no, wonderful. So that stuff's great. One moment I do want to mention Rita, though, because she's kind of just sort of hanging around and getting drunk. I did laugh at one point when she's talking to Larry about the piles. She's like, "Oh, there's a really nice skirt in that pile. Maybe we could move that to the gift for Rita pile." That really cracked me up. That's that little line. But the bit that really made me laugh is that she's been really upset about this audition, and she gets a phone call at one point, and she's with the great grandson, and she answers the phone, and she hangs up and says, "Oh, all the other actors, like some of them went on this trip, and they all got, I don't even remember what the illness was, but they all got something." It wasn't the mumps, was it?
It might have been the mumps. It was
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Mono, maybe.
It was Mono. It was definitely Mono. And it's like, see, Mom, I can do it. I got the part. Yeah, because all the other actors got ill. Like, it was such a funny punchline because the whole thing was about her being accepted and actually achieving and getting in the part based on her acting merits. And it's just really funny that she takes this like free gift of a job as a proof that, see, I could do it.
Many an understudy have been called upon into action and have proved themselves worthy of the role.
That really cracked me up. And of course, the other big main plot of the episode is Jane, or more specifically Baby Doll. Baby Doll sort of comes out into the forefront and into the driver's seat for most of the episode, and it's just right when Niles is trying to like talk to her and like he's saying, "No, it's different now. I'm not here to like lie or anything. We're here to really talk about what's going on, and maybe we can like examine what all your personalities want, and we can maybe try and address their concerns." Blah blah blah. And she turns out a Baby Doll, and it's kind of interesting that the moment he's trying to do this, like the childish one comes out, who's like, "Nah, I don't want. I want to play," kind of thing.
And he's like, "Oh, perfect, friend for Dorothy."
Yeah, he's like, okay, here's a plan. He introduced her to Dorothy, and I'm like, oh god, it's going to end badly. And they're running around. There's some comedy with them and like Cliff and Vic, where they put stickers on their back, and there's a great little joke actually.
Party.
Yeah, Cliff says, "You missed a great tea party, man," and they just have this moment where they look at each other and go, he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Move on. But eventually, Dorothy introduces one of her friends, the Wendigo friend,
Manny.
There you go, and she's like, "Oh, be nice now," and she's like, "Yeah," but she sort of hits him a little bit.
Pokes it.
Yeah, pokes the nose.
Just a poke. Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you say you'd be polite. That's not nice." And she gets upset, and she's kind of hiding from her for like a lot of the episode. And Niles is aware of this. There's a moment where he kind of lies for her and says she's fallen asleep in my room, but at the end he's like, "I'd be really disappointed if my Dorothy's being mean to someone or not being welcoming," and you see her under the bed, and it kind of reveals that he knows and she's hiding.
Yeah.
And then later on, Jane's back in the driver's seat and she wants to make a sandwich, and it seems to be something that her and the chief have bonded over before, is this ridiculous kitchen sink sandwich, they call it, with everything in it.
Sounds good.
I mean, I'm not a fan of everything, but yeah, it sounds like the sort of thing. I mean, we already talked about sandwiches once this episode.
I know. I like throwing just everything on my sandwich. I'm easily pleased.
Mm. But of course, Baby Doll kind of returns back when they're, Chief and Dorothy are being kind of cutesy with each other. And Baby Doll still, wants to interact, and like Dorothy's like, "Okay, look, we'll play one game, right? We'll play one final game." It's basically, they don't call it tag, but it's basically tag.
It's more hide and seek, I think.
More hide and seek. But she runs away, and Dorothy ends up in the basement, in the furnace kind of area, and she sort of jumps out at Baby Doll to scare her, and Baby Doll's not happy about it, and basically the fiery, I can't remember the name, but the fiery personality, the sun one.
Yeah, I can't remember the name either.
Yeah, basically comes out and kills Manny.
Yeah, and they've got Dorothy locked in the furnace at this point, and the furnace is on.
Yeah.
So that's why Manny's there. Dorothy has summoned Manny to turn the furnace off so that she doesn't die.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, because it's quite dark from Baby Doll's perspective. But then this is kind of, because I predicted the cliffhanger was going to be the wish, because it cuts to black when because the voice comes in, the candlemaker's like, "See, you can't trust her. Go on, one of your friends has died. Make a wish." And she forms the candle in her hand and blows it out. And I thought, oh, roll credits. That's that. You've set me up for next episode. But it actually does give you what the wish is, and it's this really dark scene of the candlemaker. Because clearly, what Dorothy's wished for is for Baby Doll to die. Because we go into the underground and we see the candlemaker storm through, and like all the personalities are getting scared. It actually kills the sun one, because the sun one tries to interfere and like save Baby Doll.
He like extinguishes it.
Yeah. But obviously once it kills Baby Doll, it just leaves. So clearly that's what the wish was. All the deaths before that were collateral.
Yeah, they were just in the way, and it was just whatever happens on the way. But yeah, Baby Doll was clearly the target.
Yeah. So Jane and Hammerhead watch Baby Doll be killed, and even though she's not really a kid, she acts like a kid. She has the pigtails, she talks like a kid, all that stuff. It feels really dark, even though what Baby Doll was doing was kind of mean. It was kind of like in a kid way where she doesn't really understand the extent.
Yeah, it was just like you say, her locking her in the furnace and turning it on was dark. Don't be wrong. But it it didn't feel malicious in the way if another personality had done this. With it being Baby Doll, like I say, it's this childlike lack of understanding.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting that two or three of the personalities are dead. Like they're just gone. Like this is interesting that we can kill some of the personalities in there.
Yeah, but can we make more? Because we knew there was 64. Is that a hard limit? That there's always going to be 64, or up to 64? Can we have more? So we know these personalities have come about at various points in their life.
Yeah, it seems like they get created every so often. I'm amazed it's not 52 though. I'll just say that. I'm amazed they didn't pick 52. Maybe I think it's because she was created before 52 was a thing, but still.
Yeah, that or 52 at first, but then writers kept adding things to it.
Yeah. But no, this ending was great. All this stuff. Like I would have accepted the episode ending with the candle being blown out. That'd have been a great cliffhanger. Because
but this is also a great moment.
Because we've been building up all season about she can't make a wish, it's dangerous, she makes a wish. So I am actually really looking forward to the ramifications of this, and it's kind of interesting how the main plot this season has very much been Dorothy and the danger of Dorothy's powers, and as opposed to a big bad. And I guess the Candlemaker's kind of the big bad, but it's very very different to actually having a villain like Mr. Nobody. Someone who's actually working against the main team.
Yeah, this is we've got to save Dorothy, borderline from herself, even though I think Candlemaker is like a separate entity at this point.
Yeah, it's interesting. I need to see where they go with it before I can kind of like start talking and analyzing to an extent of like you talk like because part of me's thinking like if you sort of say okay this is just saving her from herself and like her own inner demons, like
that's a theme that we could play with.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see where we go with that, but
I really like the scene of Baby Doll and Dorothy outside kind of talking and kind of comparing how similar their situations are with like the imaginary friends and the personalities, and obviously we've talked about how there are similarities, but it's just nice to see them just kind of bond over it and talk through and not try and just the show in general not try and hide away from the fact they're similar and just actually embrace it.
Yeah, to the point where one killed the other one essentially.
Yeah.
So but I mean even that's kind of dark, like the idea that Dorothy actually wished for the death of someone, even if it's just one personality.
But it
in
was
this
a
case,
person as far as they're concerned. Yeah.
That is extremely dark. So, now curious. So one of the things we were talking about before, we talked about the actor aging out of the role. Turns out the actress playing Dorothy is like 22, so we don't actually have to worry about that.
Yeah, I had no idea. I obviously I think this was brought up because I said it was some great prosthetics work. And I think that's how we got onto it originally, because we talked about a kid having to sit there for hours and such. I felt bad for them.
But it's not a kid.
But it's not a kid. But I think great prosthetics work, and it helps make her look younger as well in what they're doing, and also just great performance and really selling it.
The fact that the prosthetics make her look this way means that she can play this role for 10 years if you need her to.
Yeah,
it's just fine. So
and it's the voice really sells it as well. I think is part of it.
Yeah. I wonder, because we actually looked her up her height because we were curious if they were using trickery. She is quite small. She's under 5 foot, but I don't know if she's necessarily as small as Dorothy's perceived to be on the show. So I think they're maybe using some tricks here or there to make her look a bit smaller.
She definitely looks, less than, quite a bit less than 5 foot, at least in perspective of the show. It is how it seems, but not as much as you would have to with someone taller, right?
Yeah. She's like what, 4'10", 4'11"?
I think it was like 4'11", so it's like right under 5 foot.
So, interesting. But there you go. That's Finger Patrol. Honestly, knockout episode. I mean, I think I might give last week's my favorite of the season still, and this is just slightly under it. But I think it's only just because of how ridiculous the Sex Patrol stuff was that I was cackling with laughter. But that said, the Stone and Steel stuff, or the Steel and Stone stuff this week was...
Yeah, and I think that's what impresses me so much about this show is that we start by saying this is kind of a low-key episode for this show. Yeah, it's fantastic.
What I'm learning with this show is that I think in other shows sometimes low-key can mean it's not a great episode. It's a fine episode, but it's there to set up things for other more important episodes later. What I'm learning with this show is that low-key can still end up being the best episode of the season potentially.
Yeah, so low-key in Doom Patrol sense just means not as weird as usual.
Kind of, yeah. So That is episode 5 of season 2. So let us know what you thought of this one in the comments. Please do like is really important on YouTube. It's the best way to help us for free because it'll let YouTube know that we're worth recommending out. So please do that. And ding the bell as well if you want to make sure you get those notifications. Joe, I think would be really great on YouTube. Just a side minor point here. I won't spend too much on this. I think it'd be great if you could set like a bell just for a specific playlist, so that if you only care about one series from a YouTuber, you could I want notifications for that playlist.
Oh, that would be a great feature.
Because we have so many different things we cover that it'd just be really great if people could just be like, no, I want a bell for this one particular, or these 2 particular things or whatever.
Yeah, people might not be interested in everything we cover, but maybe they like 1 or 2 specific TV shows.
That's a good idea. But hey, whatever. You can also support us, of course, financially over at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. If you want to do that, you can do it for as little as $1 per month and get some bonus if you're trouble and help keep all the content coming. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?